Very good news is happening in the next 7 hours. I am telling you this plainly, before anything else, because I do not want you to turn away from this moment. Something real is already moving toward your life. If you step away now, you will miss what was set aside for you alone. So, stay. Listen closely, because my voice is reaching you for a reason. I am not delaying this. I am not hiding it. Within these next 7 hours, a shift is forming that will touch your situation in a way you did not expect. It is not small. It is not ordinary. It will change how you feel, how you think, and how you see the road ahead of you. I know how easily you grow tired. I know how quickly your attention wants to move on to the next thing. But this is not the moment to drift. This is the moment to be still and receive. Your heart has been waiting for relief, for confirmation, for something to finally go in your favor. That waiting is about to meet its answer. You have carried a silent weight for a long time. You learned how to keep going even when nothing felt certain. I watched you do it. I saw the nights when you felt alone and the mornings when you rose anyway, not knowing why you bothered. None of that escaped me. Not 1 hour of it. Hear me on this. What is coming is not random. It is connected to everything you have endured and everything you have trusted me with. I do not scatter blessings into the wind and hope they land. I aim them, and this one carries your name. Declare your amen out loud if you believe this hour belongs to you. Some blessings arrive quietly and people miss them because they were expecting thunder. Not you. Not this time. I am sharpening your attention right now so that when the good begins, you will recognize it. That is why I asked you to stay. Your awareness in this moment is part of what I am doing. You may feel a sense of urgency stirring in your spirit. Do not mistake it for fear. It is awareness. It is the feeling that something is close, and your soul knows it before your mind can explain it. I place that feeling there. Trust it. The next 7 hours are not ordinary hours. They are filled with movement that concerns you directly. There are requests you made long ago, ones you almost stopped believing in. I did not lose a single one of them. I've been arranging what you could not see, setting the pieces in order, choosing the moment. That moment is closer than you think. You are not being ignored. You have never been ignored. Every step brought you here, even the ones that felt like stumbling. I know it has not been easy. I know there were stretches where nothing seemed to change, no matter what you did. But you are now stepping into a space where things begin to move in your favor, and you will feel the difference before you can prove it. Stay calm. Stay open. What is coming is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to lift you. I am not bringing confusion into your life. I am bringing clarity. I am not bringing loss. I am bringing restoration. The stirring you feel right now is the first edge of that shift, and it will grow stronger as the hours pass. Watch for the small signs, a sudden thought that settles you, a moment of peace that arrives without explanation, a door that gives way when you expected it to hold fast. Do not brush these aside. They are mine. I often speak to your heart before your mind understands, and I am speaking now. This is your moment to stay near and not turn away. What is coming is something you have needed, even if you never found the words to ask for it. I answer the life, not just the request. That is why this will feel personal when it arrives. Because it is. Keep your heart steady. You are not walking through this hour alone. I am with you, leading you through it with care. And I do not lead carelessly. I know the ground ahead of you. I know where it rises and where it falls. And I know exactly where I am taking you. Do not let doubt pull at your sleeve now. Doubt always shows up loudest right before the answer comes. It will whisper that this moment is like every other moment, that nothing is different, that you should look away. It is wrong. This hour matters more than doubt could ever understand. You are not here by accident. Your spirit recognized that something important was happening, and it held you in place. Honor that. Stay where you are, in this stillness, with my voice surrounding you. What happens next is between you and me. I want you to breathe slowly as you listen. Let your shoulders come down. Let the racing in your mind grow quiet. You do not need to solve anything in this moment. You do not need to perform or prove or push. You only need to receive. That is the whole task in front of you, and it is enough. There is a reason this word found you now and not last week, not next month. Timing is never loose in my hands. I move when the moment is full, not a breath before and not a breath after. This moment is full. That is why you are hearing this. So let the noise of the day fall away. Let every worry wait outside for a little while. For the next stretch of time, you are not the one holding everything together. I am. And I am telling you, with the full weight of my word behind it, that very good news is already on its way to you. It left my hand the moment you began to listen. Now hear the part of this that is most personal. What I am bringing is connected to something you have carried quietly. There are things you never fully told anyone. Things you pressed down because you did not know how to say them, or because you feared no one would understand. I saw those hidden rooms of your heart. I have always had the key, and what is coming will reach into that exact place and begin to bring relief. You may soon notice a calm arriving where pressure used to live. That calm is not your imagination, and it is not a mood. It is my presence settling over you. When I move, peace comes first, because peace is what makes a heart able to receive. Do not resist it. Let it sink all the way down. Something is also shifting in the way you think. You are beginning to see possibility where you once saw only walls. Ideas feel less impossible than they did a season ago. That is my work. Before I change what surrounds you, I strengthen what is inside you, so that when the change arrives, your hands are steady enough to hold it. You have walked through moments that made you question your worth. They were heavy, and they left their marks. But I am not leaving you in that place. My precious child, what is coming will begin to rebuild what was shaken in you, beam by beam, until you stand without bracing yourself. Do not look back at what failed and call it a prophecy of your future. It was a chapter. It was never the whole story. I am writing something new now, and it will not read like the past. It carries a different weight, a different air, a different ending. Understand this clearly. The good news I spoke of is not a single event that flashes and fades. It is a beginning. It is the first link in a chain of moments that will build upon one another. What opens within these hours will lead to what follows next week, and what follows after that. It may start small. A word from an unexpected mouth, a realization that lands while you are doing something ordinary, an answer arriving through a door you had stopped watching. I often begin with something simple so that you can recognize my hand in it. Do not despise the small opening. Rivers begin as springs. There is also a release happening. Something that was held back is now permitted to move toward you. You will feel it as motion where everything once felt fastened shut. Progress where there was only standing still. It has already begun, even if the evidence is still on its way. I know the waiting stretched longer than you expected. I know it wore on your patience and tested your believing. There were seasons when the silence felt like an answer in itself, and the answer felt like no. But silence was never absence. I do not abandon what I have spoken over. Not ever. Say, I receive it, if this word is reaching your spirit right now. Stay steady now, because what unfolds next is meant to be received with peace, not chased with anxiety. You do not need to rush anything. You do not need to force a single door. Remain present, remain willing, and let things come into their places. I am ordering every step, and I do not make mistakes. You may feel a gentle pull toward some small action, a conversation you should have, a step you should finally take, a decision that suddenly seems clear. Pay attention to that pull. I lead in ways that feel calm and unhurried, never frantic. When guidance comes from me, it clarifies. When pressure comes from fear, it confuses. Learn the difference, and you will never be lost. There's a reason I keep calling you to stay near. Your attention is joined to your awareness, and your awareness is joined to your receiving. The more awake you are to what I am doing, the more fully you will take hold of it. A blessing recognized is a blessing kept. You are not being left behind. You are being positioned. There is a difference, and you are about to feel it. Positioning takes patience, and you gave that patience even when it cost you. Now you are stepping into what the patience purchased. Others may seem to move faster. Do not measure your road by theirs. What I shaped for you would not fit their life, and what I gave them would sit crooked in yours. Your path was cut to your frame. Walk it without comparing, and you will walk it in peace. Keep your heart open, because what is arriving is meant to fill a space that has stood empty too long. I am not sending something temporary. I am not in the habit of building what collapses. What comes will stay, and it will grow, and you will not have to grip it with white knuckles to keep it. It will rest in your life the way a stone rests in its setting. Your inner world and your outer world are being aligned at the same time. That is why these days feel strange, as if something is moving underneath everything. Something is. The ground is not shaking. It is being leveled. I also want you to notice how you have already changed. You do not react the way you once did. Things that would have undone you a year ago now pass through you and leave you standing. You thought no one noticed that growth. I noticed. It matters more than you know, and it is part of why this moment has arrived. So let your breathing slow again. Let the old bracing in your chest unclench. You have spent years ready for bad news, shoulders up, guarding the door. I am asking you to stand ready for good news instead. It is a different posture. It feels unfamiliar at first, like a language you have not spoken since childhood. Speak it anyway. You will remember it faster than you think, and what I am sending will meet you in it. There is a quiet preparation happening around you even now, though your surroundings look unchanged. I am arranging what you cannot see. I am softening the road so that what comes does not overwhelm you when it arrives. You asked for change. Change is taking form. And there is something I am asking of you as it does. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Now let me speak to you about doors. There are doors you knocked on for years that never opened. You stood outside them in every kind of weather, wondering what was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. Those doors were never yours. Some of them led to rooms that would have cost you more than they gave. I kept them shut because I love you, not because I forgot you. But there's a door that fits your path, and I am opening it now. It will not resist you. You will not have to force the hinges or beg at the threshold. When it begins to move, you will feel the difference immediately, the way a key feels when it finally turns. What is yours opens toward you. Remember that. You may receive something in these hours. You may hear something. You may suddenly understand something that has confused you for years. Pay attention to those moments. I do not always move with noise. Sometimes I move through understanding. Sometimes I move through a single quiet thought that rearranges everything. Do not overlook that kind of power because it arrives without trumpets. I know there were times you nearly gave up altogether. I know there were prayers you could not finish because the words ran out halfway through. I heard the whole prayer anyway, including the part you never managed to say. I heard what your silence was asking for, and I am answering it now in a way that will remind you I was listening all along. The waiting season is closing. The receiving season is opening. The change between them is quiet at first, like the turn from winter to spring. No single morning announces it. But one day the air is different, and then the ground is different, and then everything is different. You are standing at that turning now. Do not rush ahead of it. Stay present. What is coming is not meant to scatter you. It is meant to settle you. Direction will replace uncertainty. Decisions that felt like mountains will flatten into steps. Clarity is one of my quietest gifts, and one of my strongest. There are things you have gripped tightly for a long time that are now being loosened from your hands. Not because they were evil, but because they belong to the road behind you, not the road ahead. I am clearing space in your life. What comes needs room to settle. Let the old weight go. You were never meant to carry it across this border. You spent long nights trying to understand why certain things fell apart. That confusion followed you like a shadow. Hear me now. Some of what collapsed was collapsing away from you, not on top of you. I moved you back from edges you never saw. One day you will look at a few of those losses and call them rescues. I am guiding you toward what will serve your future, not what flattered your past. There is a new agreement forming between your thoughts, your feelings, and your steps. They used to argue with one another. One believed, one doubted, one froze. Now they are beginning to move together, and the war inside you is going quiet. That quiet is not emptiness, it is order. Your strength is also returning, and you may have already noticed it in small ways. You feel more steady, more focused, less at the mercy of every wave. That is me, building you from within before I build around you. I always reinforce the vessel before I fill it. What is arriving will not leave you uncertain. Even if it surprises you, it will not feel wrong. That is one of the surest marks of my hand. What I send carries peace inside it, the way fruit carries its seed. If a thing brings dread and confusion and a knot in your stomach, it did not come from me. Test everything by the peace it carries. And hear this about the hour you are in. You are not early. You are not late. Every road you took, even the crooked ones, delivered you to this exact place at this exact time. You may begin to see the connection soon, how moments that seemed unrelated were quietly cooperating. That is not coincidence. That is authorship. Do not let fear interrupt what is unfolding. Fear will try to rise, because fear always contests new territory. It has no claim here. This moment belongs to trust. You do not need to guard yourself against what I am sending. You do not need to hold one hand behind your back. Open both hands. This is for you. Something in you that felt broken is being mended in ways you cannot watch happen. You will simply notice, one day soon, that a place which used to ache when you touched it no longer does. Wholeness returns like strength after a fever, quietly, and then all at once. Let it come. You have carried the crack long enough. I am the one who repairs what everyone else only patches, and I have already begun. Let me tell you how a river finds the sea. It does not study maps. It does not argue with the mountains. It follows the shape of the land that was carved before it arrived, and it trusts the slope to know the way. Your life is entering water like that now. The course has been cut. You do not have to carve the canyon. You only have to flow where the way has opened. For a long time you have lived like a river pushing against rock. Everything took twice the effort it should have. You watched simple things become complicated in your hands, and you wondered if resistance was simply your portion in this life. It was not. It was a season, and seasons obey me. Now the resistance is lifting. You will feel it first in the small transactions of an ordinary day. A conversation that goes smoothly where it always used to snag. A task that finishes early. A person who says yes without your usual pleading. Things that once pushed against you will begin to make way. Do not question the ease. Ease is also my signature. People around you will begin to respond differently as well. Some will offer help you did not request. Some will speak well of you in rooms you have never entered. I have ways of assigning voices to your cause. Favor is not something you can chase down. It is something I set upon a life, and I am setting it upon yours. I am also arranging meetings you know nothing about yet. There are certain people positioned along your path the way wells are positioned along a desert road, placed there long before the traveler grows thirsty. When you reach them, it will feel like luck. It will not be luck. Nothing on this road is luck. Watch also for the moment that stands out from the ordinary flow of the day. It may seem slight, a sentence that lands strangely in your chest, a name that surfaces twice in one afternoon, an opportunity that appears sideways, dressed as something small. These are hinges. Great doors swing on small hinges, and I hang mine quietly. Timing matters more here than you can measure. If this had come earlier, it would have found you unready, and you would have handled a holy thing with tired hands. If it had come later, it would have missed the need. It comes now, because now is when it fits. My calendar has no misprints. You have watched others harvest while your own field stood bare, and it stung. I saw the sting. But a field is not dead because it is quiet. The farmer rests certain ground on purpose, so the soil can grow rich enough for a heavier crop. Your quiet years were not barrenness. They were deep soil forming. What grows next needed all of them. So do not curse the seasons behind you. Each one carried its assignment. The cold months did their hidden work beneath your feet, and the ground you stand on is different now because of them. Spring does not apologize for winter. It simply arrives with everything winter made possible. There is also a work happening below your sight, the way a builder lays a foundation before anyone sees a wall. Neighbors walk past a foundation and see nothing worth admiring. Then the structure rises in what seems like days, and they call it sudden. It was never sudden. It was sequenced. Your life is in the foundation days right now, and the rising is near. This is why I tell you not to judge the project by the state of the yard. What I am building for you has been drawn, measured, and begun. The materials are already purchased. Some are already on the ground. You're not waiting for a decision. The decision was made. You are waiting for a stage of construction, and stages have completion dates. Your part in this hour is not effort. It is agreement. Walk with the current instead of against it. When a door gives way, walk through without interrogating the hinge. When help is offered, take it without auditing the kindness. Receiving is its own act of trust, and for someone who has survived on self-reliance, it may be the hardest act I ask of you. I know self-reliance kept you alive through certain years. It stood guard when you felt you had no one. I do not despise it, but the years ahead do not run on survival. They run on partnership with me. The hands that learn to grip must now learn to receive, and I will be patient while they learn. You will also notice your own pace changing. The frantic edge is leaving your steps. You are beginning to move like a person who knows something good is certain, rather than someone braced for the next blow. That settled walk is not carelessness. It is faith showing up in the body. Let it show. And when the first piece of the good news arrives, here is what I ask. Do not shrink it with suspicion. Do not stand over it asking when it will be taken from you. Thank me plainly. Take hold of it fully, and watch what it becomes. Gratitude is the soil that a first blessing grows in. What is honored multiplies. The current is already moving, even while my voice is still in your ears. Somewhere, arrangements you did not make are being made. Somewhere, a matter with your name on it is being settled in your favor. You are not hearing about a distant plan. You are hearing the sound of one already in motion. So keep your eyes on the water ahead, not the rocks behind. The river does not flow backward, and neither does my plan for you. Everything essential is moving in one direction now, and that direction is toward you. Stay in the current. Stay near my voice. The sea is closer than it has ever been. Now I want to speak about what was drained out of you, because restoration is not a small word to me. Somewhere along the road you spent more than you had. You gave hope until hope ran thin. You gave effort until effort felt pointless. You kept giving after the well went dry, and you called it duty, and you told no one what it cost. I am refilling that well now. Not a cupful, to the brim. You will feel it as energy returning to things that had gone gray. Food will taste like something again. Small plans will feel worth making. You will catch yourself thinking about next year without dread, and it will startle you, because you cannot remember when you stopped doing that. That is the water rising. Let it rise. Hope that returns after a long absence is shy at first. It comes to the edge of the camp like a stray animal, ready to bolt if anyone moves too fast. Do not chase it and do not interrogate it. Feed it a little each day. Believe one small thing, then another. Hope grows tame in a heart that stops swatting it away. Disappointment taught you some crooked lessons, and I intend to correct them. It taught you that wanting things is dangerous. It taught you to celebrate nothing until it is certain, and to trust nothing certain either. Those lessons kept you safe and kept you small. You are done being small. I am teaching you a new lesson now, and the lesson is this. Ask again. Want again. Expect again. Declare I trust you out loud if you believe this is your turning point. There is movement now where things stood still so long you stopped checking. Matters you filed away as finished are quietly reopening. Situations you released with a shrug and a sore heart are turning back toward you. Do not be surprised when something you buried comes up green. I never signed off on some of those endings. I only let them rest until the right hour. Your body knows this shift before your circumstances show it. Notice how sleep is beginning to come easier some nights. Notice the tightness in your chest loosening at odd moments, for no reason you can name. There's a reason. The part of you that stands watch has heard footsteps of the good approaching, and it is standing down, 1 hour at a time. I am also mending how you speak to yourself, because I have heard that voice, and some days it is crueler to you than any enemy ever was. It recites your failures with perfect memory and forgets your victories by morning. That voice did not come from me. My voice tells you the truth, and the truth is that you are worth the trouble of restoring, or I would not be doing it. The ones you love are also inside this turning, the ones you carry in prayer, whose names rise from you at night more easily than requests for yourself. I have heard every one of those prayers. Some answers you will get to watch with your own eyes. Others are moving in ways you will learn about later, and you will realize the answer began on an ordinary day when you felt like nothing was happening. Ordinary days are where I do most of my work. You wondered sometimes if praying for them accomplished anything at all. It did. It does. A prayer does not expire because the answer takes the long road. Everything you lifted up is on file in my presence, active and in motion. Nothing you brought to me was set aside. There is also a strength being returned to you that you used to have and lost track of. You were bolder once. You laughed easier. You tried things. Life sanded some of that off of you, and you accepted the loss as the price of growing older. I am returning it. Not the youth. The boldness. They were never the same thing, no matter what the years told you. You're going to catch yourself doing things that surprise you. Speaking up where you would have stayed silent. Beginning what you would have postponed. Saying no without writing a speech to justify it. Do not be alarmed by this new spine. I installed it. It is load-bearing, and it is going to hold much more than it holds today. Restoration also means the return of desire, and I want you to let it return without shame. Somewhere you decided that wanting more was ungrateful, that you should be content with survival and ask for nothing further. That is not humility. Humility never required you to want nothing. Bring me the real desires, the ones you keep in the bottom drawer. I have seen them anyway. I put some of them there. What I restore stronger than the original. Ask anyone I have ever rebuilt. The repaired place becomes the sturdiest part of the whole structure, the part that never fails again, the part others lean on in their own storms. Your history of being drained is becoming a history of being refilled, and people who are refilled by my hand become wells for others, without even trying. That is part of what is ahead for you, and I will say it plainly. You will be someone's evidence, someone watching your life from a distance, someone you may never know about, is going to see this turnaround and decide that maybe their own situation is not final either. Your restoration has a reach beyond you. It always did. There is no fee for any of this and no fine print waiting to surprise you. I restore because restoring is my nature, the same way a spring runs because running is its nature. You did not talk me into this, and nothing can talk me out of it. But that is later. Today, your only assignment is to receive what is being poured. Do not hurry this filling and do not ration it. You are not taking too much. You cannot take too much from a source that has no bottom. Stand under the pouring for as long as it comes, and let every dry year you have ever lived be answered by this one season of return. Now let me give you understanding, because understanding is a gift I do not hand out carelessly. You have questions that have followed you for years. Why did that happen? Why then? Why me? Some of those questions I will answer in these coming days, and the answers will land quietly, one connection at a time, until pieces that never made sense suddenly fit together in your sight. You will see how a certain closed road forced you onto the path where you found what you actually needed. You will see how a certain loss emptied your hands just in time for them to be free when the better thing arrived. You will trace the line backward and find intention running through the whole length of it. And you will say, slowly, with some wonder in your voice, nothing was wasted. Hear me confirm it in advance. Nothing was wasted. That does not mean everything was good. Some of what happened to you grieved me. I will not stand before you and rename evil as blessing, but I will tell you what is also true. Nothing that happened was beyond my reach to work with. There is no wreckage I cannot build from. You handed me broken pieces, some of them not broken by you, and I have been building this whole time. What I am about to show you is the building. You are receiving this word today because of connection, not chance. Millions of voices rise to me and I miss none of them, and still I speak particularly personally, one heart at a time. This hour was addressed to you. Your habit of returning to me, imperfect and interrupted as it was, kept a channel open. You thought your faith was too weak to matter. A thread is thin, but if it never snaps, it is enough for me to work along. Yours never snapped. Consider how a desert crossing changes a traveler. When Israel crossed their wilderness, the distance was short, but the crossing was long, because there were things the crossing had to accomplish that the destination could not. A people who had always been ruled had to learn to be free. Trust has to be practiced in a place where there is no other option. You have had such a crossing. And here is what I want you to hear. The border is in front of you. You are not in the middle of your wilderness. You are at the far edge of it. The strange sorrow you feel sometimes, even as things improve, is the soul's farewell to a hard place it learned to survive in. Do not be ashamed of it. Even a wilderness becomes familiar, and the familiar is hard to leave. But you are not called to the familiar. You are called to the far side of this border, where the ground yields food you did not have to fight for. On this side of the border, I ask you to lay some things down before you cross. Lay down the account of who owes you an apology that never came. Lay down the argument you keep rehearsing for a court that will never convene. Lay down the version of yourself that exists only to prove the doubters wrong. These weigh more than you know, and the new land is not entered carrying them. Set them at the border. I will deal with what is owed you. Settling accounts is mine, and I settle them better than resentment ever could. Who are you on the other side? Not a survivor. Survival was the old assignment. You are an heir walking into an inheritance, a worker stepping into work that was measured to your exact gifts, a voice that certain people are waiting to hear and will not fully receive from anyone else. There are tasks in the coming season shaped so precisely for you that if you do not do them, they will simply wait. I do not reassign what I authored for a particular soul. This is what being chosen actually means. Not favoritism. Assignment. I chose you for particular work, in particular rooms, among particular people, and everything you have lived through has qualified you for it in ways no training could. The ones who have walked through fire are the only ones who can lead others through fire without flinching. Your qualification cost you dearly. It will not be wasted either. You will recognize the work when you meet it, because it will feel less like ambition and more like remembering. It will use the parts of you that you thought were surplus, the odd gifts, the strange sensitivities, the concerns that never seemed to fit your circumstances, They fit your calling. They were always sized for something you had not seen yet. And do not fear that you are too old for it, or too late, or too marked by your history. I have a long record of calling people at the wrong age by every human measure. I start late by design because a called life that begins after hard seasons carries an authority that early success cannot counterfeit. Your timeline is not behind schedule. It is on mine. As you cross into this, keep your ear tuned to me daily, not just in crisis. The wilderness taught you to seek me when things were desperate. The new land will teach you to seek me when things are good, which is a deeper discipline and a sweeter one. Do not become a stranger to me in your abundance. The best conversations we will ever have are still ahead of us, and not all of them will be about your needs. I will also tell you the truth about the new season. It will have its own challenges. I do not deliver anyone into a life without weather. But there is a difference between the storms of the wilderness and the storms of the inheritance. In the wilderness, storms threaten to end you. In the inheritance, they only water the ground. You will stand in future rain and notice with amazement that you are not afraid. That fearlessness is being built into you right now, in this hour, as you listen. So lift your head. Look across the border at the ground I have deeded to you. It is wide. It is good. It has your name on the title, written in my hand. The crossing is nearly finished, and the land does not know how to withhold itself from the one I send into it. Now come back with me to where this word began, because I want to close it the way I opened it. Very good news is happening in the next 7 hours. I said it plainly then, and I say it again now with everything you have heard. In between, standing behind it. This was never a vague comfort. It is an announcement. Something with your name on it is in motion at this very moment, and it is closer now than when you first began to listen. Do not spend these hours pacing. Announcements from me are not invitations to anxiety. Go about your day, but go about it awake. Keep a portion of your attention tilted toward me, the way a mother keeps an ear tilted toward another room. You will not need to strain. When my hand moves, the part of you that has been listening will know. It may come as word from a person. It may come as a change in a situation that has refused to change for months. It may come first as pure knowing, a settled certainty rising in your chest before any outward proof arrives. Do not rank these. The inward answer is as real as the outward one, and it usually arrives first, the way light reaches a mountaintop before it reaches the valley. And when it comes, mark the moment. Stop what you are doing, even briefly, and acknowledge it came from me. Not because I need the credit, but because you need the memory. There will be future days when believing feels hard again, and on those days you will reach for the memory of this one. Build the memory well. Name the day. Let it become a stone you can stand on. My child, we have walked a long road together to reach this hour. You did not always feel me on it. There were stretches you would have sworn you walked alone, and I let you swear it without punishing the doubt, because I knew what you could not know. I knew where the road came out. Now you are standing nearly at the place where it comes out, and I would not let you quit before you saw it. That is why this word found you today. That is why you could not seem to turn away from it. Hear what I say about completion. What I start, I finish. I have never once laid a foundation and wandered off. I have never spoken a promise and misplaced it. Every work I have ever begun carries its ending inside it from the first day, the way a seed carries the tree. The work in your life is no exception. It was begun with its completion already written, and no delay you have lived through has edited a single line of it. So let me speak to the last doubts directly, because I know they are still in the room. There is a voice suggesting that this word is for other people, better people, people whose faith did not waver and whose record is cleaner than yours. That voice miscounts what I look for. I do not choose the flawless. I never have. Look through every account of my dealings and find the spotless resume among the ones I called. You will not find it. I choose the willing, and you are willing, or you would have stopped listening long ago. There is another voice saying that if you allow yourself to believe this and it does not happen, the fall will break you. I understand that fear. It was built from real falls. But hear me. You are not being asked to believe in an outcome you invented. You are being asked to believe in a character you have tested. I have been many things in your life, but I have never been the one who lied to you. Rest your weight on that. It will hold. In these 7 hours, someone may cross your path who needs a small kindness. Give it. Not as payment for your blessing, for my goodness is not for sale, but because generosity is what a heart does when it finally believes abundance is real. The open hand is the sign that the fear of lack is dying. Let someone else feel the first warmth of what is being lit in you today. And do not put this word on trial at the first quiet minute. The hours I spoke of are mine to fill, and I fill hours the way I fill seeds, from the inside, invisibly, and then all at once. When the shell breaks open, no one asks anymore what was happening during the silence. You are inside the silence now. The breaking open is not a question of whether. It is only a question of the hour, and the hour has already been chosen. After today, things will not return to the way they were. Even beyond the good arriving in these hours, you yourself are being altered by having truly listened. A person who has heard me at this depth does not go back to their old size. You will notice it in small ways first. Prayers with fewer apologies in them. Requests made without flinching. A door approached with expectation instead of a wince. That is the new posture. It is permanent, if you will keep it. I am with you in the first hour, when expectation is bright and easy. I am with you in the second hour, when the mind begins its old arithmetic of doubt. I am with you in the third hour, when the answer breaks the surface, and you see with your eyes what you have been holding by faith. And I am with you in every hour after that, in the long good season this day is opening, further than your sight can currently reach. So go now into these 7 hours with your head lifted. Let your steps be unhurried and your heart be loud with expectation. What was promised is not straining to happen. It is simply arriving, the way morning arrives, without effort and without permission, because it was appointed. You have waited through a long night, and you have waited well, and the sky at the edge of your life is already changing color. Receive this word in full. Carry it into your day gently, the way you would carry something priceless, because that is what it is. I have spoken it over you deliberately, hour by hour, promise by promise, and I do not scatter my words. Heaven stands behind every sentence you have heard. Declare, I believe, and I receive it, if you are ready to walk into what I have prepared for you.
We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.